What is going on, you beautiful ladies and gentlemen?
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Bonji Business Booklet, where we have section 1.3 for you, the big one, the meat. Now, this is also, the sales pitch, but there's a little bit more to the sales pitch. Probably the most misunderstood part of this section, this part is really critical about listening. Having a few critical questions that you go in and checking the box to really understand where that potential customer is at and how to provide the most value to them. So, Brian, you want to kick it off for us today?
Yeah, so we're jumping into you have to figure out what the product they currently use is. Whether, if you're a landscaper and the person's mowing their own lawn, or they're using the other guy in town that, your landscaping rival, you have to understand what they're currently working with and how you can come in and fit in with them. 5 things is, 1, how does your product or service provide more value? 2, are you going to be saving them any time with with your product or service? 3, are you saving them money? 4, is the quality going to improve? And 5, will it provide any growth to you, to the potential customer?
So yeah, let's break this down, because it's really important. If you're going into a meeting, you have to understand, the angle that you're going to win them over on. And we discussed prior to starting this video. Last video was the cold contact. Depending on the industry, if you're selling, software, chances are you're doing it remotely. You're not meeting in person, which requires, in that cold contact, you need to have a point of contact, and you need the decision maker in the meeting, in the Zoom, in the phone call. We're cold calling. We're just getting some information. So when we go, chances are we're going to restaurants. The owner's going to be there. The general manager, the decision makers are going to be at the restaurant. So make sure in the cold contact, if you're selling software, or if you're going and, you have a construction company, the homeowner's going to be at the house when you go knock on their door, right?
Yeah, but they were talking. I was listening to a podcast with Patrick Bet-David the other day, and he was saying that during COVID, every other investment banking company that did, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, etc. JP Morgan, everyone else went to Zoom version. JP Morgan was the only company that the CEO was like, we're not doing that. We're going to go and meet with people in person. So, we have a product-based company. We want to get out in front of them and do samples. Someone with a service-based company might not necessarily need to do that. But if you have the option to meet with them in person, definitely take that. He said that's, JP Morgan, everyone else was, all these other investment banking companies were going down. JP Morgan was going up because of the fact that they're meeting in person. Yeah. People don't want to, do business with an entity that, they've never actually met face to face. If that's just another, point. If you can meet with them in person, definitely meet with them in person.
And they will, if every company in the industry is just doing Zooms, well, that's fine. The retention's probably not very high in those industries, because when you meet someone in person, you have a deeper connection with them naturally. Or the 5 components to win someone over, you're either going to win them over by saving them time, saving them money, improving the quality of an existing product or service, or providing growth. So we're going to break these down. So time and money is very simple. You buy a product. If you buy a pizza crust from a company and it takes 10 minutes to cook, and your crust cooks in 3 minutes, okay, well, now you could serve customers 7 minutes faster, right? For a simple example. So you're going to save them time. This product, it takes 10 minutes to assemble. This product, it only takes a minute to assemble. So you, in theory, you're increasing your output by 10 times. That means, you're providing 10 times the value, right?
Or your property management company and your clients, they have their own janitorial services, and you say, hey, we have this janitorial service. They come in. You don't have to have all these people on your one. You don't have, like, these people aren't going to be taking the time to do that. This janitorial service comes in on Sundays, and that's what they do. And 2, you don't have to have you don't have to employ 20 extra people, whatever it might be.
Yeah, so that could be just a money thing. Hey, you pay your janitors $1,000 a week. Our service, we could do it every Sunday for $100 a week. You're saving them $900, right? So that's saving money, really straightforward. Improve the quality. This could mean, it's just a better product, whether it's, you're a window company, the windows look better, the exterior looks better. That means maybe you could bring in higher end customers, or people will spend more money there, whatever it is, right?
Quality is a super important thing, especially in the restaurant industry. People want to offer the best products, but really it could be, if you're outsourcing marketing, say, quality could be the taste of a product, how often you're getting content out, whatever it might be.
Yeah, the durability of a product.
Yeah, so that's a huge thing.
It's one of those things it can be subjective. You have to figure out prior to the meeting, if your thing is quality, how do you make that objective? How do you make quality? How do you put a number to quality? Right? Because it's very easy to sell someone on a cheaper product, but it could be challenging. So you have to be creative when selling someone on quality and somehow put a number on it. Like Toyota does 10-year studies on their products, on their cars, and shows, hey, these cars last over 10 plus years. They last over X amount of miles. So, that's an intensive, high. It takes a lot of time to do that, but it'll pay off, and you could put a number now on quality.
Yeah, there's a lot of services that every service should be metric focused, and there's a lot of products like cars and stuff that can also have a lot of metrics to it. For us, where it's it's a food, it's a little bit harder to place a metric on it, even though we have to have metrics that do work. But whether it be metrics or whether it be pinpointing little things that your product, why it tastes better.
Right.
Just saying, oh, it tastes better. You have to be very, very specific. Make them understand oh yeah, it does have a smoother finish. Oh yeah, it does have more bursting flavor.
Whatever your company's product or service is, you have to know what angle you're going at, and it's always going to boil down to time, money, quality, or growth, and so that leads us into the growth.
I just want to say one more thing about that before we move on. People are going to be there. These are all four separate buckets, and sometimes people are like, I really don't care. Just save me as much money as possible. Save me as much time as possible. Give me the best product possible, whatever it might be. A lot of these people also have they're aware of all four of these things, but everyone has a different priority. If you have 5 sales meetings in one day, one person might say, one person might be clear that this person wants to save money. One person might say, I don't really care how much money it is. I just want the best stuff. So it's up to you to, really early on, hopefully even in the cold call, you can understand what it is that this person's
what's their
focusing
number
on.
one priority?
Yeah,
right, because they all matter, right? Like, you can't just offer the cheapest product, but it's a bag of fucking, whatever. It's got to be legit. So you have to, and so the questions you ask early on in the meeting, early on in your pitch, will allow you to put an emphasis on what that customer is looking for specifically, or what their priorities are. Growth is another thing that is a more challenging thing to put a metric on, or to put a number on. Meaning, if you have a software company that will save your sales guys a lot of time because you don't have to do quotes. I was just at an insurance company a couple weeks ago, and the guy said, I just take down this information, and the computer spits out a bunch of estimates, so I don't have to do the estimates manually. Now, if you're a company selling that service, that product, that software product, where it'll spit out estimates, right, for insurance companies, insurance brokers. Now, the company that you're selling is going to say, okay, well, you're going to say, you have to put a number on how much time are you saving the people, and then ultimately put a number on how much more sales calls will that person be able to make because of this service, right? Instead of a sales call being a few hours with this insurance broker, it was 30 minutes or less, right? So that now his output goes, it should increase 4 or 5 times, right? But you have to go into the weeds and be a little creative but also very concise, because the more you talk about it, the more confused people will be. So if you're providing growth, that's a very legitimate thing, right? But you have to be able to boil it down in a very straightforward manner, so you can put a number on it.
Yeah, and for our company, Bonji Foods, we are super, super customer driven. We love to create great relationships with our customers and grow with them. I think one person that really models this extremely well is Leprino Foods. They're a mozzarella company. They sell to Pizza Hut, Papa John's, Domino's, all the biggest pizza chains in the world. And they did that because early on they said, hey, we're not going to raise our prices on your mozzarella while the local spot down the street the mozzarella might go up 50%. They have to raise their prices 50%. We're gonna have a great price for you, great quality product, and we're gonna be consistent. So Leprino cheese, married into the Papa John's relationship and the Domino's relationship and all those, and these people felt the head of Domino's was like, I feel very comfortable. This guy's promising me this kind of stuff. So if you could kind of figure out a dynamic relationship with some of your customers, and show that, hey, we're here for the long run, and I'm gonna allow you guys to do the growth. We're gonna be a rock for you guys, and you guys go. We're gonna be right there with you.
Yeah, right. That you're saying growth as like, if this company wants to grow fast, we can handle that growth. I was also talking about like a new concept too, like growth in sales, But yeah, you are right. That's a good point. Companies want to know you could support them. So, growth is two things, right? Like the company needs to be reassured or assured that as they grow as a vendor, you can support them, right? And support their growth. So that's a great point Brian made. I was thinking, if it's a product line that they don't currently offer, it's going to be growth. Your product line you're offering them could be growth. For instance, we sell to a lot of juice bars, but if we sold to a diner, that could be a whole new menu item concept that could provide growth and new potential customers for them. So now you understand, prior to the meeting, what your 4 biggest, what are the 4 priorities the potential customer is going to be looking for. Now you go into what are their biggest challenges. So when you're sitting with them, you have to understand, and you have to ask the questions so they tell you. And these meetings are really about listening, not talking. So what are their biggest challenges? And it'll vary, right? So it'll be direct. So if they're using a competitor, their biggest challenges, for instance, are the biggest challenges our potential customers go up against is they want to. We provide a great quality product, so it's really a smooth mouthfeel. So their challenges could be the product they're serving currently is too icy, or it's hard to manage. It's hard to train people to make the product to order. So we help provide efficiencies in their kitchen, for instance. So you have to understand their biggest challenges, the customer you're meeting with. What are your thoughts on that, Brian?
Definitely, you have to be. Say you're going to a startup and there's 5 guys that are working and they're all doing a million things, and you notice that they don't have a social media presence, whatever it might be. You have to understand, hey, they have a lot of stuff on their plate. Like, for them to really get after social media, it's probably gonna be really tough. But 2, they're also a startup. Maybe they don't have that much. They don't have that much money for marketing. See if you could, say, hey, usually our services are like this. But I see you guys are a startup. I think what you guys are doing is great. Let me be your social media person,
right? And
kind of be dynamic with, okay, you guys don't have a budget for my usual amount. Let's see what we can work on,
Yeah, right. You could get creative with the payment structure. You can get creative with, the time invested in them. whatever it may be, understand their biggest challenges, so you can address them and provide creative solutions. And then, what do you do better than everyone? And what's the value you can provide to them? And so, again, that those two questions, what you do better than everyone, is really about if a company is using a comparable product or service, how will your service provide more value? So you really have to understand the competitors and indirect competitors, so you could really concisely say this product will, our company will help you save money by doing this. It'll help you provide growth because we have this program in place. It'll help you save money because we have a payment structure. Instead of paying us all at once, you could pay us over the course of a couple months, right? So whatever it is, you have to understand the market. You have to understand what competitors or indirect competitors are doing and what the challenges the potential customer is dealing with on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, and we started this business as a juice bar, and then we pivoted to becoming a vendor. So we have a lot of firsthand experience as to what these juice bars, the challenges that they have to overcome, and what the shortcomings of their current vendors are. So for us, we were like, we could barely ever get on the phone with the vendors. The vendors would say, we can't make it on the day that we're supposed to make it on. Or they jack up the prices randomly without telling us. All these things that we were able to experience firsthand. I kind of go into these meetings with people and I kind of fish for things that they might resonate with and say, oh yeah, that is something I do it is a problem that I do face. I can never get my vendor on the phone. They're supposed to be here on Tuesdays. There's countless times they don't deliver to me until Thursday. That reassurance, showing that we oriented ourselves with the problems that you face, so you guys don't end up having to face these problems at all or as much, and really gearing the conversation to that and figuring out, we're going to be the people that solve the problems for you. We're not just someone that's trying to cash your check. We're actually here to help move your business forward.
Right. And you're going into the meeting. You have to understand a couple things. They're looking for saving time, saving money, or increasing quality / growth, right? So what are their biggest challenges, and what's impeding on growth, or what's impeding on their putting cash in their pocket, right? And then pertinent to your product line, right? And once you have that information, you can go into your pitch, right? Our product is great because you should be putting more money in your pocket. We offer an exceptional product at this great price. You have to be very clear and concise and be able to kind of pivot and emphasize what is their biggest challenge, right? Don't spend any time on price if they're really focused on quality, right?
Yeah. And finally, I think the understanding the relationship when you go in there, like what relationship they want to foster with you, is also a huge thing that I shared that we have a person that drives and distributes product for us, and his name's CJ, and I added a little bit to his role, and I said, hey, you want to do some sales for us too when you're going along your route? I could find some spots for you, and you could stop at them. And he's been getting great success by just going in there and being in and out. I tell him the only thing I really focus on him with this is say, hey, understand what this person's looking at and get after it. So I really think there's two different relationships that you can go into and see what it is that a person wants from you. Sometimes you go in there and they're super business oriented. They say, hey, what's your price? Does it taste better than what I currently have? Yes. Okay, cool. I'll buy from you now. Get out. Or it could be relationship oriented. You can go in there and they want to, make you a smoothie. They want to show you what they do as a business, whatever it might be, and they want to, share an experience with you and create a bond of trust. And that's what I think CJ has been doing a great job at. I follow up a week later. I say, hey, my associate CJ came by. He dropped off a sample. I just wanted to see how it went. They said CJ was awesome. We talked to him for 15 minutes, and understanding what that relationship they want to create with you, I think is also an enormous thing. It's like I kind of see it as you could be going to a restaurant every week. You go there and you get the chicken parm every week, and you're like, dude, I don't need to hear the specials all the time, but you're constantly chewing up my ear about what the new specials of the week are. I want my chicken parm. Just get out of my face. I don't care. But then someone else might say, hey, you didn't even go over the specials with me. I wanted to see where the chef is from, what his recommendations are, etc.
Yeah, and it takes confidence to be very straightforward, but it creates a tremendous amount of efficiency in conversation. When you say to someone, a potential customer, hey, what's a good vendor look like to you? What's a good partner look like to you? What's a good whatever look like to you? When we sit down with distributors that carry our product, in the initial meeting, we say, hey, what's a good vendor look like to you, right? Are they doing a lot of sales? Are they keeping to themselves? Are they marketing you and our relationship together? What's a good vendor to you? Asking that question might feel a little blunt at first, but it takes a lot of pressure off of everyone. So you could start a relationship off on a really good, fresh note, and they can tell you, this is what I look for in a partner. This is what I look for in a vendor. This is what I look for in whatever, right?
I really try to go in there and let them kind of I get my points across, and I kind of let them just talk about their business. Have them talk about their business and see where it is that you could provide value to them.
Right. What are your biggest challenges is a question that everyone should probably be asking. Some form of that, right? It's another blunt, broad question, but it allows the potential customer to kind of vent to you, right? And that's the relationship that's the benefit of JP Morgan, going back to Patrick Bet-David saying JP Morgan was meeting people in person during the pandemic. That's that value. That's the value of meeting people in person, is you could really build that trust.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, every conversation you have with a different person, they're going to have different challenges. They're going to have different that. I feel like it's pretty much, what's the challenge? What would you like to see from me? There's not really that many questions. Then it's kind of, you kind of have to go down the line. If their biggest challenge is this, if it's price, then you have to, ask what's a good price for you. If it's, how responsive the vendor is. It's like, what's been a past issue? Like, was it they didn't get there in time? Is it that you got the wrong product and they didn't come back? But really, it's just like, there's probably 3 questions you pretty much ask. What is it that you currently use? Pretty much all the questions we went over. There's not many more overarching questions. It's more about getting into the nitty gritty of it.
Right, and I've heard people say an old school one is, why do you want to use me? I personally don't like it. I don't really see any value in it. You have an understanding of their priorities: time, money, quality, or growth, right? And then when you go into the pitch, you ask them that question. What product do you currently use? What are your biggest challenges? What's a good partner or vendor look like to you, right? And then when you impress them with your pitch, you're really concise with your presentation, and you because you paid attention and listened to them. Know the price. I really don't like when people don't know the price immediately, because I feel like when someone's selling me and they don't know the price, I feel like they're trying to calculate how much they can get away with charging me. So that's a big pet peeve of mine personally. Just give me something, right? It might vary project to project. Give me something so I know you're not going back home and saying, okay, they're paying $10,000 right now. That means we could charge 20, right? Oh, they're charging $10,000 right now. that means we could charge 9, right? Like, I hate that. So know the price, present the price, be confident in the price, and you're confident because you understand the market, You understand who the competitors are, who the indirect competitors are, and you know the value you're providing the customer. So you shouldn't have any problem presenting the price. Present the price, right? And then if they don't flinch at it, here's kind of like a trick. It's not a trick like you're a scam artist, but a trick like it could be uncomfortable to get that initial order, right? So a trick could be when you're ending the conversation, the price is this. Here's why this is the price, and here's why you should have no problem paying it. And they say, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's a good price. I say, great, we deliver to your area, or we have availability next Tuesday. Can we come and start the project? Can we come and make it the initial order this time next week? And that's the way now we're transitioning from the meeting to the follow-up, overcoming objections, and ultimately the close, right? So always ending on that question, can we start next week, right?
Yeah. Another thing I like to, your objective, the top objective is to sign them up, right there. If not, if it's a busy time that you're meeting with them, they don't have a chance to sample out the product or whatever it might be, try to get a good contact, good direct contact, so that you don't have to go back through the wormhole of trying to get to the decision maker, and ask for a good time to follow up. If it's, if every Thursday they have, is a crazy day for them, then call them on Friday. Another thing I like to do is I like to provide a sample. I like to have them have the sample in front of me because I want to, I'm super confident with the product that we're selling. So if they try it and they really like it, then it just gives me more, it gives me a little bit more confidence to be like, come on, I saw your how much you liked it when we tried it. Why not give us a shot?
Walk through the experience with them. It's like going to test out a car. Drive the car with them. Walk them through all of the components, the sport mode, the heated seats. Walk them through it as they're experiencing it the first time, so they can really appreciate the experience.
Yeah, right? Because there's a million ways for why a customer would say no. You're trying to find out that one way for them to say yes. So this entire, hopefully they say yes at the end of it. If they don't say yes at the end of it, and you have to kind of follow up for a couple times, which is probably happens more often than not. This whole entire thing is about trying to get as many reasons as why you could be a great, why you should give us a chance. It's about providing more ammo for you to, be able to go get that customer.
Right. And it's nerve-wracking to make a decision, make a change. So, building that ammo, is really like comfort ammo, right? Essentially. Yeah. So you got to keep providing that comfort to them until they're, ultimately a customer. So we'll see you next week. We're going to be going over the follow-up, overcoming objections, and ultimately the close. Hopefully this is helpful. Let us know if you have any questions. Respond in the comments section. Subscribe. We'll see you soon.
What is going on, you beautiful ladies and gentlemen?